Bonjour, bonsoir. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's March 30th, 2009. And I'm in Paris. I'll put a very quick travel log at the end of this video for those people that don't actually believe that I travel around. Or actually don't even believe that I'm employed. Never mind. Okay, for my friends in Ireland, I'm very sorry. Your country has been downgraded. Yes, your sovereign debt is no longer valid. Not quite as valid as it was before. In turn, this has put a serious dent into the value of the euro today. So the euro dropped quite dramatically. It's never good when one of the countries that makes up the euro is downgraded by a ratings agency. Now, what's been happening in the States in the news? Well, big news, of course. Obama has basically come out and said, well, actually, a plan would be, let's bankrupt GM and Chrysler, and then sell off the good stuff. And the bad stuff we'll do something else with. And the plan, of course, is that Fiat will take a huge chunk of Chrysler. It was originally going to be 35%, but now they're shifting their mind and making it 20%. But regardless, it's going to be a big mess. And of course, there is a big question about the CDSs that are attached to GM. Technically, if GM goes bankrupt, those credit default swaps need to be redeemed. And of course, there's a whole bunch of synthetic CDOs sitting on top of that as well. This week, of course, London, we have the G20 coming up. G20 meeting. Now, I'll be in Paris. Sorry, I won't be able to go and join in any of the fun and frivolity around the G20 meeting. Now, of course, leading up to the G20 meeting, we're getting all kinds of stories pumping us up. Let's go protest, blah, blah, blah. Be careful. It could well be that there's an awful lot of involvement by the security services around this. Noted today in the Times, 5 arrested ahead of G20 protest in London. Basically, the police were tracking down somebody who painted some graffiti. And they've discovered that these are anarchists of some description, and that they were planning on attending the G20 meeting protests, and they had a bunch of flares. So they've been arrested under anti-terror laws. Be careful, folks. Now, of course, there's one other thing that's happening. Westminster Council has been told that their closed-circuit television network is illegal, and they need to shut it down on the eve of the protests. Don't believe it, folks. The police can still use those cameras. They just can't use them for evidence. Okay. Banks starting to walk away on foreclosures. This was sent to me from a viewer in the States. This is very interesting news. The banks are suddenly deciding, actually, there's no point foreclosing because we can't sell these houses for anything that they're worth. Forget it. You keep it. Interesting article here. Now, Barack Obama had an interview with Financial Times today. If you want to find out what he's thinking about the G20 meeting, a good article to read. Basically, he's thinking, the Europeans don't want to do this stimulus stuff, so that won't work. Let's think of something else. And of course, he is saying, actually, quite remarkably, that world trade is something that he's actually willing to compromise on, which is a stunning revelation. So who knows, G20 may actually come up with something. It may not indeed be meaningful, but they may work together to actually get something done. Now, of course, the Russians have come up and said, hey, listen, that Chinese idea of, using IMF and having some kind of basket of currencies for the reserve, that's a good idea. So China and Russia are behind this idea now. And of course, in the States, General Motors, Wagner was sacked, and over here in Europe, the Peugeot board has dropped Streiff as chief executive. So all kinds of things are afoot in the automotive industry all over the world. Is it any wonder the stocks are going completely mental today? A study finds a cyber spy ring based in China. Okay, now this was in the Financial Times over the weekend. I found it quite remarkable. So basically they're saying that there's all kinds of cyber terrorists, and the biggest concern to America shouldn't be You know, Iran and all these other places. No, it's China and Russia attacking from cyberspace. A couple of articles linked by Chiefs fear Chinese cyber attack. That was in the Times this weekend. Chinese hackers using ghost network to control embassy computers. Doing some awfully funny things there. And of course, now the Vietnamese are gotten into the game of this and basically are saying, hey, listen, this Conficker virus, this Conficker worm, looks remarkably similar to the NIMDA worm. The code is very, very similar. And the Vietnamese believe that the NIMDA worm came from China. So they are putting out the news that Conficker is actually a Chinese worm designed to take down major parts of the internet, beginning April 1st. Who knows? Is it real? Is it going to be some kind of false flag attack? Is this coming from China? Is this coming from Russia? Or indeed, is it coming from the UK or the US government? I guess we won't find out until after April 1st. A good suggestion was, of course, shut down your network and file print services. So you're not sharing your network and printers out. And then Conficker really doesn't matter to you. However, if you're running a business, that's probably not a really good idea. And finally, to wrap up, someone sent me a message saying, what do you think about this? Now, basically it was about this chap named Kondratieff, a Russian economist. Came up with some theories about cycles and about depression and deflation and inflation and when they occur and the cycles they occur. And of course we're right now supposedly in a really good time for a depression. Yeah, go figure. It should have happened many years ago, but they've been messing about with the stock markets. Now, one of the reasons this was pointed out to me, or was sent to me, was, what do you think about this? Yes, this is actually an interesting concept, and I've got a funny feeling I know someone who's using very similar theories. Now, of course, I can't back this up because I didn't ask the man. And if you know who I'm talking about, you'll know why. I've also included a link to Martin Armstrong's paper based upon the research of Kondratieff, and also a Wikipedia article on Martin Armstrong. For those of you trying to figure out what's happening with markets and swings and cycles and all that kind of stuff, very good articles to begin with. Okay, folks, it's late at night in Paris. Peace, love, understanding, think about things. And hopefully I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye.
25 minutes past 6 o'clock. For your safety and comfort, we'd ask you please to remain in your seats with your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop. Fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. And we'd also ask you please keep your mobile phones switched off at this time. They do interfere with the aircraft systems. We'd be very grateful if you could just keep them switched off for a little bit longer until the aircraft come to the terminal building. Also, please be very careful when opening the overhead lockers, just in case anything's moved during the flight. And when you do finally leave the aircraft, please make sure that you take all your items of hand luggage with you. British Airways ground staff will be meeting this aircraft here in Paris. They'll be happy to help you with any further assistance or inquiries you might have. Alternatively, though, you can speak to any of our One World Alliance partners or go to ba.com. And if you're collecting any hold luggage today from the carousels and baggage reclaim, please remember the flight number is the BA318. On behalf of Captain, British Airways, all the crew, hope you enjoyed the flight with us today. Do hope you have a very safe and a very pleasant onward journey. Many thanks.
Down just as the sun is setting. How very pretty. And of course, let's go look at them gargoyles. Go look at them gargoyles. All the saints. Up there, way up there. Look at the gargoyles. Well, hello from Gay Paris. Yep, I'm really here. Yep, that's the Eiffel Tower back there. Yes, it is. Not making it up, folks.